Good morning everybody. Today we shall discuss about the acids, bases and salts part 4. In previous class we shall discuss about the how strong acid or base solutions, pH of some common substances shows on a pH paper and importance of pH in everyday life, and some natural occurring acids. Okay dear students, today we shall discuss about the more about salts. See here, in this chapter, we shall discuss about the five types of salts. Here sodium hydroxide, bleaching powder, baking soda, washing soda and plaster of Paris. So here, what do you mean by salts? So let us see. Here, a salt is an ionic compound. A salt is an ionic compound that forms from a positive ion from a base and a negative ion from an acid. So it is called it as an salt. You know that in your previous classes ions means. Here charged particles are positive or negatively charged particles. It is called it as salts. So that's why a salt is an ionic compound that forms a positive ion from a base and a negative ion from an acid. When observe this equation, say sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid. Here sodium chloride and water is formed. Here sodium hydroxide is one of the base. You know that. Hydrochloric acid is acid. When base react with acid to give salt, NaCl is an salt and H2O is add water. So base react with acid to give salt and water. And then how salts are formed? Here salts of strong acid and strong base are neutral because its pH value is 7. When pH value is 7, so that the salts are neutral. On the other hand, strong acid and weak base are acidic. Strong acid and weak bases are acidic because its pH value is less than 7. Its pH value is less than 7, so it is called it as an acidic. When pH value is 7, so it is called it as an neutral. When pH value is less than 7, it is called it as an acidic. And those strong acid and weak acid are basic. Strong base and weak acid are basic because its pH value is more than 7. When pH value is more than 7, so it is said to be basic. When pH value is more than 7, it is said to be basic. See here, when the pH value is 7, so it is called it as an neutral. When the pH value is less than 7, it is called it as an acidic. When the pH value is more than 7, so it is called it as an base. Now, let us see the chemicals from common salt. So, by now, you have learned that the salt form, how salt is formed. Here, salt formed by the combination of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide solution is called sodium chloride. Salt is formed by the combination of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide solution. It is called as sodium chloride. Note that the point. This is very important question in your examination. What do you mean by sodium chloride, or what is sodium chloride, or how salt is prepared? So how salt is formed? The combination of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide solution is called sodium chloride. Here, sodium chloride is the salt that we use in our food. Sodium chloride is one of the salt so that we use daily in our food for taste. You must have observed. So, you observed about the activity also. Here, seawater contains many salts. Seawater contains many salts dissolved in it. Sodium chloride is separated from these salts. Sodium chloride is separated from these salts. So deposit of solid salt are also found in several parts of the world. Deposit of solid salts are also found in the several parts of the world. So these large crystals are often brownish. Why it can be brownish? Because due to impurities. Due to impurities, so these large crystals are brownish in color. So this is called it as an rock salt. These rock salt is brownish in color because due to impurities in them. So it is called it as an rock salt. So you must have heard about the Mahatma Gandhi Dandi March. Have you heard Mahatma Gandhi Dandi March? Did you know that sodium chloride was such an important symbol in our struggle for freedom? Here, sodium chloride was such an important symbol in our struggle for freedom, means Uppina Satyagraha, means struggle for freedom. And then common salt. So here, chemicals from common salt. So let us see the common salt that's obtained an important raw materials for various materials of daily use, such as sodium hydroxide, baking soda, washing soda, bleaching powder, and many more are the raw materials for common salt. Here, let us see how one substance is used for making all these different substances. So, one substance is used for making all these different substances. So, let us see one by one. Here, sodium hydroxide. So, how sodium hydroxide is prepared? So, when electricity is passed through a aqueous solution of sodium chloride, so it is called it as an brine solution also, it's decomposed to form sodium hydroxide. So this process is called chloroalkali process. When electricity is passed through a aqueous solution of sodium chloride, when electricity is passed through an sodium chloride solution, so these sodium chloride decompose to form a sodium hydroxide. So this process is called chloroalkali process. Note down the point. Chloroalkali process. Very important in your examination. What do you mean by chloroalkali process? So once again I repeat it. When electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium chloride, it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide. So this process is called chloroalkali process. Because of the products form chlor for chlorine and alkali for sodium hydroxide. So observe this equation. Here aqueous solution of sodium chloride reacts with water. It gives sodium hydroxide, chlorine and hydrogen gas is liberated. Aqueous solution of sodium chloride reacts with water. It gives sodium hydroxide, chlorine and hydrogen gas is liberated. Here, chlorine gas is given out at anode and hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide is formed at cathode. So, from the chloroalkali process. Here anode means positively charged particles is called anode and negatively charged particles is called cathode. So this chlorine gas is given out at anode and hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide is formed at cathode. So that's one the important products from the chloroalkali process. And then bleaching powder. So you have here the name of the bleaching powder. Yes, you already hear the name of the bleaching powder. So come to know how chlorine is produced. Here chlorine is produced during the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride. So this chlorine gas is used for the manufacture of bleaching powder. Once again I repeat it. Chlorine is produced. How chlorine is produced? Chlorine is produced during the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride. So this chlorine gas is used for the manufacture of bleaching powder. So bleaching powder is produced by the action of chlorine gas on dry slaked lime or calcium hydroxide. What is the another name of the calcium hydroxide? The another name of calcium hydroxide is a slaked lime. So bleaching powder is produced by the action of chlorine gas on dry slaked lime. So bleaching powder is represented as CaOCl2 means calcium oxychloride. Here Ca means calcium, O means oxygen, Cl2 means chlorine, calcium oxychloride. So a question is arise. What is the chemical name of bleaching powder? Here the chemical name of bleaching powder is calcium oxychloride, CaOCl2. When calcium hydroxide reacts with chlorine, it gives calcium oxychloride and water is separated. And then, what are the uses of bleaching powder? What are the uses of bleaching powder? So bleaching powder is used for cotton and linen in the textile industries. Bleaching powder is used for cotton and linen in textile industries. Bleaching powder is used for bleaching the wood pulp in paper factories. Bleaching powder is used for bleaching the wood pulp in paper factories. And it is also used for bleaching washed cloths in laundry. So bleaching powder is also used for the washing cloths in laundry. And bleaching powder is used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries. And it is also used to make drinking water free from germs. Bleaching powder is also used to make the drinking water to free from the germs. And then baking soda. Here baking soda is one of the salt. The baking soda is commonly used in the kitchen for making tasty, crispy pakoras. So baking soda is commonly used in the kitchen for making tasty, crispy pakoras, etc. Sometimes it is added for faster cooking. So baking soda sometimes it is added for cook the food very fastly. And it is also produced using sodium chloride. How is it produced? It is produced using sodium chloride. So the chemical name of the compound is, or the chemical name of the baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3. Na means sodium, H means hydrogen, CO3 means carbonate. Sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. Here question is arise. What is the chemical name of baking soda? The chemical name of baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. Here, when sodium chloride reacts with water, carbon dioxide and ammonia to give ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. So observe this equation clearly. See here, sodium chloride reacts with water, carbon dioxide and ammonia to give ammonium chloride and sodium bicarbonate. So what are the uses of baking soda? Here baking soda is used in soda acid fire extinguishers. Baking soda is used in soda acid fire extinguishers. And baking soda is used in the form of ingredient in antacids. Baking soda is used as ingredients in antacids. For making baking powder. So preparation of baking soda. How baking powder is prepared? So let us see about that. Here baking powder is prepared by the mixture of baking soda along with a mild edible acid. The acid is tartaric acid. So when baking powder is heated or mixed with water, here carbon dioxide gas is produced. Which gas is produced? Carbon dioxide gas is produced when baking powder is heated. When baking powder is heated, which gas is produced? When baking powder is heated, here carbon dioxide gas is produced. So these carbon dioxide cause bread or cake to rise, making them soft and spongy. Why bread are soft and spongy? Because here carbon dioxide gas is liberated through the bread. So the bread or cake become soft and spongy. So very important, dear students. So how baking powder is prepared? So how baking powder is prepared? A mixture of baking soda along with a mild edible acid such as tartaric acid. When baking powder is heated or mixed with water, here carbon dioxide gas is produced which cause bread or cake to rise, making them soft and spongy and delicious. Sodium bicarbonate reacts with hydrogen ions. It gives carbon dioxide, water and sodium salt of acids. And sodium bicarbonate reacts with H plus ions. It gives carbon dioxide, water and sodium salt of acids. Okay. Washing soda. Here washing soda is also one of the salt. The chemical name of washing soda is sodium carbonate decahydrate. The chemical name of washing soda is sodium carbonate decahydrate. Here Na2CO3 means sodium carbonate, 10H2O means decahydrate. Sodium carbonate decahydrate. Recrystallization of sodium carbonate gives washing soda. Recrystallization of sodium carbonate gives washing soda. So it is one of the basic salt. It is one of the basic salt. Here when sodium carbonate decahydrate is used to make the washing soda. Sodium carbonate and sodium hydrogen carbonate are useful chemicals for many industrial processes also. Sodium carbonate and sodium hydrogen carbonate are useful chemicals for many industrial processes also. So what are the uses of the washing soda? Washing soda is used in, or sodium carbonate is used in glass, soap and paper industries. It is used in the manufacture of sodium compound such as borax. It is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. Sodium carbonate or washing soda is used as cleaning agent for domestic purpose. Means here domestic purposes means household purposes. So not an domestic animals. It is used in domestic means household purposes. Here it is used as cleaning agent for household purposes or domestic purposes. It is used for removing permanent hardness of water. Here sodium carbonate or washing soda is also used for removing the permanent hardness of water. And then, are the crystals of salts are really dry? So let us see. Here copper sulfate crystals when heated is lose water and turn from blue to white. When copper sulfate crystals are heated, it loses the water molecules and turn from the blue to white. So water of crystallization is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. Water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? Water of crystallization is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. For example, here 5 water molecules are present in one formula unit of copper sulfate. So how water molecules are present in one formula unit of copper sulfate? 5 water molecules are present in one formula unit of copper sulfate. So let us see chemical formula of hydrated copper sulfate. Here the chemical formula of hydrated copper sulfate is CuSO4 5H2O. CuSO4 5H2O. Here 5 water molecules are present in one formula unit of copper sulfate. And gypsum chemical formula is CaSO4 into 2H2O. Gypsum chemical formula is CaSO4 2H2O. Here gypsum is used to slow down the rapid setting of cement. So its molecular or chemical formula is CaSO4 2H2O. And next one is plaster of Paris. How plaster of Paris is prepared? So what are the uses of the plaster of Paris? So let us see. So on heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin, it loses water molecules and becomes calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So this is called plaster of Paris. How plaster of Paris is prepared? On heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin, so it loses water molecules and becomes calcium sulfate hemihydrate is formed. So this is called plaster of Paris. The uses of plaster on mixing again with water, it changes to gypsum. When this plaster of Paris is mixed again with water, it changes to gypsum. So what are the uses of the plaster of Paris? Plaster of Paris is used for making toys, materials for decoration. And it is used for making the surface smooth also. and doctors use for supporting fractured bones in the right position. Plaster of Paris is used for making ties, materials for decoration. Plaster of Paris is used for making surface smooth. Plaster of Paris is used for supporting fractured bones in the right position. Especially doctors are used the plaster of Paris for supporting the fractured bones in the right position. Here, the molecular formula of plaster of Paris is CaSO4 1 by 2 H2O. CaSO4 into 1 by 2 or half H2O is the chemical formula of plaster of Paris. Here, note that only half a water molecule is shown to be attached as water of crystallization. Only half a water molecule is shown to be attached as waters of crystallization. So it is written in this form because two formula units of calcium sulfate shares one molecule of water. So plaster of Paris is using the making ties, materials, decoration and making surface smooth. So you also try it. So calcium sulfate hemihydrate, it is also called it as a plaster of Paris. Calcium sulfate hemihydrate, it is also called it as plaster of Paris. Okay, thank you.